There you go.
You gotta warn me about that next time.
Never, never.
Hmm. I warn you on three bards and dragon all the time. I'm always very
Okay, first
transparent.
off, no, oh, transparent as in like you slide it under the radar. So like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like while we're all in the middle of talking, like yeah, you're all just whatever. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Waking Up. I always do the intros. Does anybody knows? I have been doing the intros for like
Hmm.
4 years, and it doesn't matter if I'm like somebody else needs to do the intro. I'm always gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
It's
No, you don't.
always
You don't have to do the intro. You don't have to do the intro if you don't want to do the intro. It's fine. You're good at the intro, but you don't have to do it.
Mhm.
Would you like to not do the intro?
But you always forget stuff.
Yeah, because I don't do the intro a lot.
Oh my god. Tina J's lies. We get to the prize live every time. See, Jay was there. See, Jay gets it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, hello, welcome to Wake Up. Because I wanted to say hello, welcome to Three Bards and a Dragon. Because I do the same intro very similarly every time. Like they're all the same. So I am Anna. And this is my co-host Shawn. Yes, my
Hi.
friend of 20+ years.
Oh, is that a good? Is it good? Is that bad? I couldn't
I don't
quite
know. How
tell
was
from
that
your.
15-year hiatus going for you?
Oh, it's full of guilt and shame. That's how it went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Waking Up, and I am Anna, and this is Shawn, and this is our mental health podcast where we talk about our religious trauma and just our trauma in general. Where we talk about deconstructing, where we are deconstructing ourselves and trying to reconstruct ourselves as healthy, decent human beings. And some days are better than others. So we'll see. But here's our disclaimer. So here on Waking Up, we are not here to bash anyone's religious faith or beliefs. We think faith and religion are beautiful things when done in a healthy and mentally and emotionally healthy manner, even sometimes physically, when just done in a healthy manner. Shawn and I are not professionals. We are not therapists, counselors, social workers, any of that stuff. We are not mental health professionals whatsoever. This is a podcast where we discuss our own personal journey and our own personal opinions, what has worked for us, what has helped for us. And this is just a podcast where we discuss what we're going through, and it changes and we grow. And this is a safe space for our community and the people that show up here. So please do not take what we say as any type of medical advice. It is only our opinions. And if you do need professional help, we do have information we can get you to help you get in touch with real professionals, mental health professionals that can get you the proper help that you need. So you can contact us on Discord or all our socials at Nerd Mames or at Dorian Sombra, and we will be happy to help get you that information. Shawn and I grew up in the Bible Belt in North Carolina in the 90s. It's very Billy Graham territory, and Southern Baptist, for those of you who don't know, is a very conservative evangelical denomination of the Christian faith. And again, honestly, now looking back on it, now that I'm comparing now versus then, I mean, it was still bad. It was just, I didn't think it could get worse, and yet there they go, proving
There
us
it
wrong.
is. Yeah, I know,
So
right?
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's not something they should
No.
have striven for, but whatever. So
Came full circle.
yay.
Feels like. Yeah, as long as they don't bring back Focus on the Family, I'll be all right.
They're
That
trying,
that's
except it's something different. It's named something different.
yeah, because
Yeah.
there's too much trauma when it comes to Focus
There's too much
the name.
medical issues when it comes to Focus on the Family.
Yeah,
So there's that. All right. So today
we have a great topic for
we
today.
decided to
Oh
keep
my
it actually a
god,
little light. We're trying to keep it a
as
little
light as
lighter,
this.
as light as we can.
Uh huh.
For the fact that we're like it says, we're notorious overpackers. So
What? No,
yeah.
that's just trying to be prepared.
Uh-huh.
Uh huh. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna keep telling myself. So today's topic is emotional baggage.
I'm reading Jay's comment. Guilt and shame, like waking up in Thailand with a new wife when you fell asleep in a bar in Oklahoma. First off, those drugs are really good.
I mean, yeah, those do sound like fantastic ones. I need to know where you got them.
Because that is like a 20-something hour flight. You have to buy a ticket. Like, that's a like multiple day blackout.
I mean, that's I can do that just by drinking.
You pack your emotional baggage like I pack for con. Listen, Jay, I know for a fact that you and your therapist talked about your notorious con overpacking, so don't even start with me. I will come straight at you, buddy.
Yeah, but don't come too straight at him, because his overpacking is actually what keeps us getting things fixed.
Don't say that. Don't say that, because that's exactly what he's trying to work against with his therapist. About being the guy that has
Wait, are
everything.
you saying I can't enable his emotional pack? I mean, his
emotional baggage, we all have it. It is something and for those of you who don't know what emotional baggage is shit that we carry around with us. Our traumas, our reactions, just the things that just over time we carry with us. And some of us are minimalists and they've learned how to not overpack, and they do that. I don't know how people can do trips with carry-ons, and there's some people who do. And then there's some people like Shawn and I who literally have to mail things to ourselves beforehand.
Hey, I'm mailing something to you. It's a you
big
can't
box.
bring it on the can't bring it on the there's not,
it's my like one time I mailed my entire cosplay and it was like a huge box, so it was
fine. Yes. Like, what else are you packing? Don't worry about it, it's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just something that we just do, and we carry that with us, be it shame or trauma or just life experiences. Shawn, I know you and I shared that meme one time where the woman was coming into your first marriage, and she knocks at the door and she opens it up and she has this little purse and she goes, "Here I am. I'm here with my bags," and she has a little part. She goes, coming into second marriage, and like she knocks on the door and she's like got like 8 bags slung over in her rolling board, and she goes, "Hey, I'm here, help me unpack this shit," and it was like dumps it all at the door. And I was like, why does it feel
that is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That is what it's like. Absolutely. Yeah. Just dump it all out. Here you go. Oh my god.
Oh, I love the intro that like is like, "Hi, I'm Anna, recovering overachiever with a heart full of baggage tags." Yeah. I feel like I have claim tickets. I'm like,
which one is it? Hold on.
Yeah, what airline are we on? Wait. Which one are we at? Like,
wait, is that my bag? Is that my bag? Here, let me grab it. No, it's not mine. Let me grab this one. Is that mine? No, it's not mine.
But see, that's true though. Is I have notoriously in my past picked up other people's baggage because people pleaser and overachiever. And
yeah, I was about to say the fits.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. Here, let me carry this for you. Here, how about?
Oh my god! I know we're baggage bellhops. Like, we're just like, You know what? I know we have mine, but let me put yours on our cart too. I have plenty of room, right?
I know it looks like my arms are full, but trust me, it's like groceries. I can carry one more bag. It's fine. I got it. Let me.
I have a cart. It's fine, but it's like tipping over. We can make it work. We can make it work. We will make it work.
We have the tools. We can do this.
You just stand on that side and just hold that. I will do it.
Yeah. If you just help me out, we'll do this together.
Sparkle, glitter, and on fire. I mean,
oh my god. So the luggage, the last luggage that I got came with the surprise. They didn't tell me. It was a nice matching set, but they didn't tell me it came with a little purchase with gift of a guilt bag. I was like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, guilt. Fantastic." I didn't realize I ordered that. Awesome.
It was
Yay, Black Friday.
It was here.
It was tucked up in the bags. Once I started unpacking it, I was like, "Oh, look, there's all the guilt. That's where it's been."
No, are you sure it wasn't shame? Are you sure? Are you sure
It
it
was
wasn't shame?
both. It was
Yeah.
both. They were just nestled right together.
Oh, well, that's good. Oh, nestled set. That's always good. I mean, isn't that
Yeah,
how it
it
goes
was
with
like a
nestled baggage?
Russian nesting luggage. Oh,
Okay. All right. So you want to let's start with like our original baggage.
oh,
Like what we started out with, like what we start, because like we've been traveling this earth for a hot
for a
minute,
few years.
for a few
It's been a few
years.
years.
So I
Mhm.
mean, like our childhood baggage that we just decided to carry around,
Um, the bags that we decided to carry around that we at the time, for me at the time, I thought was my again personality in another episode of Is It My Baggage or Is It My Personality, or something that I thought made me better. I was the absolute overachiever. I had to be. Yeah, time. What? Go
ADD
ahead.
thought. Does
Yes.
it like is it ironic that overachiever and golden retriever rhyme?
Wow, that was a serious ADD moment, but I'm here for it.
Okay, just all right, continue. Continue.
They do seem to go hand in hand.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I remember I had to do everything better. I had to be a part. I had to be recognized for like being smart and doing all these things better and achieving more. Like it was constantly, what is the next thing that I can achieve? So I think I really learned at an early age that I had to outperform. I had to be that my worth and my was all based upon my achievement. What I could do, what I could prove. I had to prove myself. I could be smart.
That's what you carried with you. You're overachieving.
Yeah, because I remember that from like, when I grew up, they had AG,
Oh,
so the
for
academically
this
gifted,
the academic.
right?
Oh, we all like. Okay, welcome to being the neurodivergent, academically gifted overachiever burnout kid. That would be me. Now, raise your hand if you're that kid and you're now severely into kink.
What? It's crazy.
Shut up. All right, anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so there was the AG program, and so like I had to be. That was not a like. It'd be great if you could. No, it was I had to be this. I had to be in the AG.
Hi, Eric.
I had to. There was a special reading club for like high performing readers. Like I was reading. Oh, I'm in the 3rd grade, but I'm reading at a 5th grade level, whatever. Like that kind of stuff. I had to be in that. I had to do that, and like that's where I found my purpose. That's where I found my worth.
Was in overachieving.
Overachieving. Mm-hmm.
And did you carry that? Is that something you carried through? Like, okay. You know what? I am not going to assume.
I'm gonna. Well, I was gonna say you're asking that as a formality, right?
Yes, I am. I'm asking that because I am not going to assume.
For anyone for anyone watching that doesn't know, yes, that has absolutely carried throughout my life. It was, but here's the. Oh, I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into that. Here's the marriage. It wasn't just overachieving. It was a combination of things. It was I had to overachieve,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't want to be publicly praised for it. But
That's
I did,
horseshit.
but I didn't.
I was like, yeah, that's horseshit.
I did, but I didn't. Like getting that everyone. It's being complimented, being praised for it. I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Like it's that one kind of wanting to be praised for it, but
No.
then
See, that's your baggage too. That's baggage too. That's
that's
part
what
of.
I'm talking.
No, because that's from the church. That's the being
Yeah.
humble. That's the.
Yes.
That's the. You're not allowed to
Pride
be
cometh
proud.
before a fall.
Right. You're not allowed to be proud. So that's that's you taking out 2 little carry-ons and be like, okay, we're gonna pack this in here. Like
Yeah,
that,
if I smash it together, it's just one, right?
No. It's like but see, that's 2 things. Those are 2 separate things that just happen to present itself together.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, but keep going, right? Because you're told, like, I somewhere down the line, you're not allowed to be proud of yourself Because at some point, regardless, like for me, if I was like trying to be proud of something that I achieved, it was always, I achieved it because somebody else did something for me. It was always somebody else's, like, it was somebody, the praise actually belonged to somebody else.
The screw ups, oh, that was all me. The good stuff that happened, that was all God. The screw ups were totally me. It was my fault. That was absolutely my fault.
I'm only good because of the grace of God, like God's talents, all of that. All right. We're throwing that in the emotional baggage that we carried on. That's fine.
Yes, that's absolutely one.
Yes. And I mean, it's just the church trauma in general. Like, let's unpack all, like, that we carry that through for a long, and I didn't realize I was carrying a lot of like church baggage. I mean, I knew I was carrying it, but I didn't realize how much of it I was carrying until I started unpacking my shit. And then I started unpacking my shit in therapy, and I started being like, okay, I need to get rid of like this, like, plethora. It's like one of those comedy scenes where I come in with the big luggage cart and there's like two more behind and they're stacked to the gills. That's what my emotional baggage was like. And it's just like I started unpacking that shit and going, I don't need all of this. I don't need all of this. This is not serving me. It's not doing this. And as I started unpacking, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was still here. Like that type of thing. Like my sexual repression and my shame and like that whole like guilt of being praised and proud of yourself. That whole just being apologetic for existing. Like that whole church thing where I needed to always, it's better to be the support role than it is to be out in front. And which was, I double packed. I packed one of every color because I was female and I had like the whole black sheep guilt. So it's like the whole thing. It was just like I had one in every color. It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You packed for everything.
I did. I was prepared.
Oh my God.
Yes. So
Jay, you I don't need you putting that out there. Yeah, I don't want to be praised, but I still want you to acknowledge it.
What?
But yeah, it's that weird. I don't know. What do you remember as your first baggage? The first baggage that you started carrying.
Oh. If I'm being real honest, and I'm really thinking about what's the first thing, always coming second to my sister. That's like, and I learned that young, like 3.5, 4. Like when she was born, I am like 3 years older than her, like almost 3 years older than her. So it was about 4. When I really realized that, and how that's like the black sheep part. It's like all of a sudden I got handed this whole, here's this role. Here's the thing, and you're going to carry it all your life. And with that role, you had to buy all the accessories that go with it.
Of course you had, yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of attachments there.
There are a lot of attachments. Like, it's one of those, oh, you're the black sheep. Okay, you're hard to love. Let's put that in there. And let's make sure we're adding the guilt and the shame and the never good enough and the not pretty enough and not smart enough and the self-doubt. And let's just start adding all of these, like, extra things go along with that. And that's fine. And oh, by the way, maybe you can, I mean, it's not the same, but it is the same. But let's, maybe you should maybe you should hold on to that scapegoat thing too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot to pack in that baggage and lug around with you
for 40 years. Fucking years.
But
that's fine.
Yeah.
Less than about 30 something years. Yeah. I brought up
Oh.
You know what I was told not about? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
It is.
But I am proud of you. If 1, 2, I am sorry that you were, essayed. I know as firsthand how difficult that is, especially when you're undealing that trauma. And coupled with the lack of support, especially from people that you cared about, and needed support from. But I'm sorry that happened to you, but I
Yeah.
am proud of you for bringing that up and making a choice to start healing that. So good for you. It doesn't feel good.
Yes.
It sucks
Hmm.
and it will be hard and will like there's no unringing that bell. So you'll start to unpack some shit that it will be very, very difficult. But I am proud of you for making that choice for healing yourself. So good job. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that is not easy, but you've taken that step,
And
which
that's
is a big deal. That first step is always the hardest.
And then it's the little
Admitting it.
choices after that. Because remember, you don't run. Like, that's what I have to keep my therapist keeps remembering. Just one small choice at a time, one small thing at a
Hmm.
time. So, but good job.
Yeah,
And again,
absolutely.
I'm sorry that that happened to you because as somebody who has also been a victim, it's hard, especially when no one believed you and all of that. So, the ones who give us shame are usually projecting. Oh,
Ooh, yeah. Wow. That's absolutely. That's where it typically comes from. Oh, nope. You lost audio. Can't hear you.
no, he didn't.
Oh.
I'm trying to get a gnat, and
Oh.
it fell on my mic,
Oh.
so I muted it so I could try and get it, and it flew away. So I was trying to get it. So I don't know.
I
Yeah.
thought that was you testing your mic to see if we could hear you.
No.
Can you
Sorry.
guys hear me? No.
I see it
Just
flying
all
around.
right.
It'll maybe fly.
But yeah, absolutely. And that's doesn't go away. Like as far as the projecting, that's what you find when you look is a lot of times the people that have that are projecting or that are putting out this very fervent stance of something are really just projecting something
Okay,
that they haven't dealt with.
let's going along with this whole overpacking emotional baggage
Hmm.
thing. To sort of get like what Eric says gives us that are projecting. It's basically somebody who overpacks and then
Hmm.
says, "Hey, you have room on your carry-on. I want you to take. Can you carry this for
Oh my
me?"
god. Yeah, that is.
I thought they
Um,
didn't think there was going to be super important home. Exact. Well, that's a whole nother issue to unpack.
Actually, avoiding home is a big, yeah, that's actually a big thing for me.
Why do you
Um,
think that overachievers are overachievers and they're usually in a lot of after school activity or
home
jobs?
is, yes, I learned home was not a safe place for me.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And I didn't realize this. This is what I find interesting about therapy is like, I experience these things, so I start unpacking, and I'm like, I do this thing, but I don't understand why. And I think back to my childhood and go, I don't understand why. But then as I continue to unpack, all of a sudden those connections get made, and I go, oh, this happened or this happened. I'm like, I had completely repressed that idea,
Mm-hmm.
that thought. Or the connections get made where like I thought it was one thing, but it turns out that thing was actually a bigger deal. That's where I learned. I didn't realize it, at the time for years, but as I've been deconstructing and been in therapy, I realized that home was not a safe place for me,
Nope.
and that explains a lot.
Welcome to waking
So,
up.
yeah, right?
Well, that's the whole reason we named it "Waking Up."
Yeah,
It's not just
it worked.
yeah, because we are waking up to a lot of the things that we turned a blind eye to. But the
Yeah.
projection is very much like I've overpacked. I have too much of this stuff. It's not fitting, or I don't want to carry this anymore, or I want somebody else to carry it for me. So they're gonna hand it to you and go carry this for me. And you don't realize, especially if they give it to you in childhood, like you don't realize that that's not your job to carry it because they're your parents. So I know that with my mom, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of I was insecurities, a lot of her trauma from her childhood, and a lot of things that now that I am breaking the cycle and the generational things that I am dealing, that I'm like, I didn't need to do that. It was not my job. It's not my job. It was not my job. It was not my
Hmm.
part to carry that. And yet I did because that I thought that that's just what you did. Like,
Yeah. We don't know any better
you
as
don't know any
kids.
better until you
You're
realize, why the fuck am I carrying this? This is not mine. I
Yeah.
don't fucking, that's not
When you're
mine.
Yeah, when your caretakers hand you something as a kid, you're just like, okay, cool, all right. I mean, I'll take it. That's fine. It's
Right.
uncomfortable, but all right. It's the thing you do. But like carrying your parents' emotions, carrying,
Right.
I feel like I carried my mother's emotions, and that's what created that for me. That codependence. I'm not okay if you're not okay.
Right.
So
Because you
I need
weren't.
it was yeah because
Because it was
you're right. I
unsafe.
wasn't.
It was unsafe. It
Yes,
was emotionally or
exactly.
even for me
Mhm.
physically unsafe.
Yeah, it was. And the only way I felt like I could make it safe was to try to fix or to carry this thing when it wasn't ever mine to carry.
Right.
And that is the baggage that comes throughout that I keep forward that never leaves my luggage. That never leaves my emotional baggage. Until I've been working on it. So that's not something that just goes away. That's something that I still work on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yay, baggage.
Okay, this was fake TSA confiscation list. What should have been left behind, but somehow got through that? I mean, that is
That
basically what
that
that is. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like that
absolutely.
whole
Hmm.
like emotional regulations, like that. My therapist told me churchgoers tend to turn to church life for the sense of order and shame.
Mm-hmm.
Brought where the world starts as chaos and brings order to it. Yeah, it's a comforting thing. Like a
It
lot of
is.
people become. I mean, I know for me it was like, and I've talked about this maybe a lot before you came on, Eric. Is a lot of I
Mm-hmm.
used faith at some of the hardest times in my life as an escape. If I wasn't in school, I was at church
Mm-hmm.
because church is what you know. I was in this turmoil. A state of turmoil all the time. And I was like, they promised me as long as I was faithful. And I think that's the thing. That's the other baggage. The hope of that you promised me that I would be safe and that I would be taken care of. Why do I not feel safe and taken care of?
Mm-hmm.
Which is horseshit.
Yep. Um, there's a reason why the church reaches out to the people they do. Because those are the people who are looking for something. They're looking for safety. They're looking for order. They're looking for something else. And people that are in a good place don't respond. Usually respond the same to that message because they don't need to. They don't need that thing from the church. They don't need something like that, so they don't.
That's a double-edged sword, Eric. Eric says, "Yeah, plus people kind of have to be nice to each other in church." I like that. But
Ooh,
that's a double-edged sword
yeah.
because yes, they have to be nice to your face. But how like for I don't know about you, Eric, but for me and I'm pretty sure for Shawn, it was all very two-faced. It was all very like you could watch your mom be nice and sweet to somebody and the moment they walk away, she is just talking shit. And it was very much like you could never as you grew up, as I know for me, as I grew up in the church that way and watching that, especially after like that whole incident with you're going to fake it, you're going to be nice, you're going to be happy, regardless of what's going on in this household. It lost
Hmm.
my faith. Like it really did. I never trusted when people were nice to me. I couldn't even something I carried on since I've been carrying since my childhood. Something that's been a staple in my emotional baggage is that I can't trust when people are nice to me. And I can't like people are nice, but there's always that feeling of they're talking shit about me. If I do something like they're like I have to be is that's where the perfectionism comes in because if I'm perfect, they have nothing to talk about. And so my favorite is this example
Mm.
for the TSA fake people pleasing 14 ounce disguised as helpfulness not allowed.
No, it's gotta be small people pleasing. It's gotta fit in a 3 ounce bottle.
Right.
Yeah. For me, it was the car ride to church, or it was at home, getting fussed at, getting yelled at, getting threatened of physical violence, discipline.
Because corporal punishment was a thing.
Was totally a huge thing. Yeah. Remember I talked about focus on the family? Yeah. It was a big thing. But the moment you stepped out of the car for church, it was like flipping a switch. Everything was nice. Everything was wonderful. Just occurred to me. Maybe but I knew everything wasn't copacetic. So during the time in church, everything was fine. But I knew as soon as I left, it was not going to be fine. Maybe the problem with me, the problem I have living in the moment is because I always knew there was something bad happening in the future. There was always something that I wanted to avoid happening afterwards.
The ride to church something must have happened like that really traumatized you, because you bring that up a lot.
Yeah, it was. It was wait till we get home. There was a lot of the wait till we get home. There was the mental anguish of something bad is going to happen to me when I get home.
That's
Yeah.
fucking bullshit. I never do that to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I stop and I deal with it. Okay. Like, there's very rarely where I will be like, okay, we're in a place where we deal with it. But usually by the time I get home and we get home, okay, we're going to talk about it, but there's no like.
And they kind of pretended everything was fine. Like, so there was this period of time where I got home where I hoped maybe they forgot. And so I became like the perfect kid for this time, hoping that I could somehow avoid the punishment that I knew was going to come. And I never could, but I always tried. Uh-oh. You just had a thought, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, God. Okay, hold on. Let me emotional support mug.
Yeah, so do you think maybe you carried that on into adulthood by the fact that when somebody gets upset with you and then they like, they get over it and just move on, that you think something is happening and that you're going to all of a sudden turn into this people-pleasing perfect person that just suck up really hard, and you're like, "Why are you doing this shit?" And you don't realize that they've just let it go and moved on.
Because I'm waiting for this other shoe to drop, and if I can say the right things and do the right things and be the perfect person, that the other shoe won't drop, I can avoid it when there was never another shoe to begin with. Yes.
In case you haven't noticed, he does that to me all the time, folks. I literally had to start going, "Shawn, I'm letting this go." I'm not.
Yeah, that became a part of our conversations whenever we had a disagreement. It was
okay.
It was like, do you have anything else to say? Because I'm letting this go. Once we finish this conversation, it's done.
Because he would want to bring it up, like he would want to.
Yeah.
ESM coming in clutch. Yeah. So emotional support mug. So yeah, but yeah, he would do that. Like he's like, "Why are you bringing this up? I'm over it." Because he's still thinking that something's. So if he brings it up, then anyway. But that's
yeah. Yeah, I struggle to let those things go. Absolutely.
Lost luggage, what we've let go. Speaking of letting go.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you list a couple things, Shawn? I think it's going to be easier for me to list things that
You're probably right.
I've let go. So, let's start with you. Hey, you know what? You start with you while I go potty. Because I've been actually hydrating like a good girl, and like a good girl, and now I gotta pee.
Coffee isn't water. All right. Yeah. Okay. So things that I've let go. I wouldn't say I've completely let go of things. Let's see. There is some of the overachieving perfection. Oh no, actually, you know what? Actually, something I've said, I think I've done pretty well about letting go is coffee isn't water. I say that as I drink my coffee. The productivity, the productivity guilt, has really controlled my life a lot. I have to be productive. If I'm not being productive, I'm not being good. I'm not a valuable person if I can't constantly be productive. So that's something that I've worked really hard to let go of, and I think I've done a pretty good job in most areas of my life where I allow myself to just allow myself to just you know what, I'm just gonna sit here and veg. I'm just gonna do this thing. I'm gonna game for a couple hours. I'm gonna
Right.
the need to be constantly productive, and then and feeling guilty for not being productive. So I think that's a big one.
When do
Uh,
you know something is emotional baggage? Um, when it's heavy, when you know that you're carrying it. Now, I'm not gonna say that all like, and again, personal opinion. This is my personal opinion
mhm.
that everything that you carry is essential. Like when you obviously pack your bags because you need stuff, and you do
Mhm.
need things. It's just what you carry. So emotional baggage does get this whole thing of like, it's heavy, it's all the things that you carry, it's all these things, but you do need, it's just what you decide to carry, and what you decide to is necessary and what isn't. You know, when you're a little
Mhm.
kid, you have to have that stuffy with you. You have to
Mhm.
have that book, that or entertainment. And as you get older, you don't need your stuffy anymore. You don't need that, but you certainly need your charger. So make sure you pack your charger. And so,
Mhm.
emotional baggage is always going to be something that you carry with you. Um, it is something, whether it's good or bad, and you have the things that you need and you don't need. And some people are minimalists and they can pack in a small little carry-on, and then some people, like me and Shawn, we pay the
Mhm.
overweight baggage fee all the fucking time. It's just part of our travel plans when we fly. I mean, it's everything is emotional baggage. Everything is something that you carry with you. It is when you're unpacking it, it's how much you carry, how much it weighs, and does it serve you, or are you just carrying it around?
Yeah,
And that's the
that's
big
good.
thing for me. Is like, is this something, like when I'm packing, is this something I might need, or is this something that's not mine but I'm carrying it for someone else? And that's hard. And it's hard to, because you convince yourself, just like any other trauma, just like anything, you convince yourself I might need this, or I have to carry this. Like, I'm
This
supposed
is
to. This is a
this
need.
is who I am. That's
Exactly.
a big one.
Oh yeah.
That's why we joke about
Is this
is this my personality or is this my trauma? Because it's a real thing. It's we There's so much that we attribute to this is my personality.
right?
I'm flexible. I'm easygoing. No, I'm just people pleasing. That's
Right,
really what's happening.
exactly. Like, I don't have an opinion, but I do have an opinion. But if I give my opinion, I've always been hurt. And emotionally
Yep.
declutter, yes.
Oh
Trust
yeah,
me,
absolutely.
Shawn and I, and it's a constant process. I'm just letting you know, Eric.
Yeah.
Like, it's a constant process, and especially when it's that whole ADD, like you've stuffed things in doom drawers and all that stuff, and then you start pulling it. You know what? It's time for me to organize this doom drawer. It's time for me to organize this luggage, this emotional baggage I'm carrying around, and then you completely unpack it and just see how much shit is in there.
Which is not necessarily a good idea. I don't think the
What?
whole like the doom drawer out because then I get overwhelmed and I'm like, nope, nope, just put it back in. I'm done.
Well, it depends on where you are and how, like, if you have a process or a tool with your therapist.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and that literally goes for a doom drawer. Like, if I am gonna dump this out, and I know, so what's the process? And I mean,
yeah.
sometimes you do that, and sometimes you'll dump it out and repack all of
Mm-hmm.
it back in, maybe
Mm-hmm.
leaving one thing out, and then you'll do so everybody has their own process of unpacking their emotional baggage, and what, and some, and it doesn't mean that you're any less of a person if you don't want to unpack it right now. If it's just one of those, I'm not ready. Okay. And that's fine. I think that we get the whole, no, you need to unpack everything. No, you don't. You don't. You don't. You
Sometimes
literally,
it's just taking that one thing out.
yeah, you literally can unzip it, reach in, and just pull something out. And that'd be the one thing that you deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And you decide
Yeah.
whether you need it or you don't. And either you put it back in or you leave it out. Like, that's fine.
Yep.
You don't have to completely.
You don't have to dump out the doom drawer in order to deal with the doom drawer.
Right. And
Yeah.
see, Shawn's very much that way. Shawn's very much a one, let's like pick the one thing out and deal with it, which is fine. I
Mm-hmm.
am very much let's dump it out, because if we don't dump it out, if I don't see everything that I'm dealing with, then I don't know how to deal with it. So we have very two different ways of dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still dealing with
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
It's still we're still notorious overpackers. We still have the same shit. It's just
Yeah. And none of this makes us a bad person. None of this, whatever the baggage is, whatever we're bringing with us, it doesn't make us a bad person.
Mm-mm.
Our baggage comes from our survival. It comes a lot of times. It comes from the way we were treated as kids and what we had to do to survive as kids, with our caretakers. And so we just didn't learn to deal with it because it just wasn't part of our growing up. And so we're not bad people for no matter how much we have. We're not bad people. We just means we have things that we're dealing with
And
that we're
holding
learning
on to. Yeah.
holding on to and hope and learning to deal with, and we deal with it at our own pace. So. And my journey is my journey, and Anna's journey is Anna's journey, and we deal with it in different ways and at different paces.
For once, and not some imaginary future. I don't think. But what if you wrote for yourself? I think that's the benefit of journaling. I'm a really great writer, but I'm not a published writer level. But the things I write, the things I say, I think are quite profound. That doesn't mean that necessarily for anybody but me and my small audience in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Live in the moment. And living that's carrying one. It's for the imaginary future of what you need to do. That is a need, lack of self-worth. And that's the whole, I need to do more. I need to accomplish more. I need to have something tangible to prove I am worth something. Mm-hmm. I need to have something tangible, an award, an accolade, oh, thanks, Calvino. I need something to show other people, strangers, people I love, that I am worth knowing. And I am of value.
Carry it around, show it to people.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's the whole thing in your purse that you go, look at this. You want to see it? You want to see my fancy, whatever,
my trophy, or whatever,
But you get to that point where you realize your value doesn't lie in that, in the accolades or the praise or what you can do for other people, because that comes part of it, Jay. So.
Whew.
Just
come on.
I'm just calling people out. And I know, as somebody who is the black sheep of the family, as a scapegoat, that was a very big thing for me, was carrying around that I need to prove I'm either the best at something, or I needed to prove I was the prettiest, the skinniest, the whatever it was, to prove that I was worth knowing, and I was worth keeping. Because I knew in the back of my head, I am so fucking screwed up. I've got all this trauma, because you're broken. You're broken most of the time, because that's how you spend all your time trying to cover up the broken parts. So you try to get that accolade, and that's what I carried around for me for the longest time, is I had to carry around in my carry-on that was readily available all of the great things that I had in here. Look at how pretty I am, and look at how smart I am, and look at whatever this is. No, look at this, because don't look at the 3 carts of luggage that I've got that are about to come off this plane.
Don't actually open it. Don't open it. It'll just poof. Yeah.
My baggage is didn't even take the flight. bitch, we're all on that flight together. So don't even start with me. Team AOA is in, like, we had a group flight.
Absolutely. Okay. All of us on a flight together.
We're all flying together. It's group travel. Thank you very much.
Wait. You know, if I push my baggage down hard enough, do you think I can get it to fit in the overhead bin?
If I sit on it and you do see, this is how you do it. You do the I've learned how to
sit on it.
You do the expander, and you stuff it down in there, like, so that, like, it's full, and, like, you have the expander that's opened up here, and then you sit on it, or you put somebody, or you have somebody, and then you close the expander so it compresses it.
There you go. That's it. That's what you do. Why do you know so much about how to pack a lot of stuff in a small space? we're both overpackers. The difference is you're efficient at the overpacking, and I'm not. I'm just throwing it in there.
Because that's my life. That's me. I am the luggage that I have overpacked in. I have learned how to pack so much shit in a tiny, pretty package. Like, it's fine.
Mine is like falling out, bulging at the seams, and yours is like it's the same amount, but it's nice and neat and compact, and
Nobody knows.
Like,
nobody knows. That was the thing.
Mine is
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. That's me right there. Emotional baggage right here. I am the epitome of sneaking shit onto an airplane.
For me, it's how many times have you looked at me and went, it's a weekend. Why did you bring the big bag?
But see, I can't even fuss at that because I do that all the time. But I also try. I also have like way more. Like I have, yeah. What did Cavito say?
Yeah, I'm reading back through
I'm sure that was an innuendo.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. He was talking about somebody sitting on it.
Wait. Is that our trauma or is that our personality?
Oh, that's totally y'all's personality. Like we're all 12 in like our maturity level when it comes to that. Like
we totally are.
Every single one of us is thirsty as fuck. It doesn't matter if we're in a relationship or not. We're gonna be thirsty as motherfuckers ever.
Mm-hmm. It's how it is.
We're 3 bards in a dragon. We're team AOA. We fucking roll to seduce every single time.
If we're not seducing, we're licking, and sometimes it leads to seducing. I don't.
It's fine.
If y'all saw our group chats, we're not adding you to our group chat. No.
Okay. Let's see. I said this. If I don't. It don't make it any better that everyone is hot as fuck. I mean, also fair. We're a good looking crew. I think the thing that I dropped off that I definitely let go of was the need for validation, and the need to get validated externally, just like the whole I need you to see what I'm worth. I need you to see and validate what I'm worth so that I feel secure in you, my value of being here and you wanting me and being in your life. Here's my value. Here is my worth of being in your life. And I let that go. Which I didn't realize how much I let that go until like the other day. And I realized it's like, I'm no longer apologizing for existing. I don't even apologize for having opinions anymore. I don't apologize for my ideas or my feelings or my thoughts. I now only apologize for things that need to be apologized for and that need apologies. And that is a big thing, is I let that go. I let go of that need to validate my existence, because I finally, after so much time and so much trauma work in letting go of the things that like my mom had instilled in my brain and all of that stuff, I let go of needing to prove that I was worthy of love, and I need that needing to prove that I was worth having around. And honestly, that was a very very large suitcase. That was one of those big oversized, like living for a month out of suitcase that I finally just said, fuck it. I don't need that. I don't need any of that. I can't even convince myself that I need it anymore. I can't even convince myself that that is something that I need, because I don't need it. And I just sort of left it. It did take time. It did take some time to unpack, and it did get lighter and lighter over time, with a lot of trauma therapy. But that is one thing I definitely let go of, as being apologetic. Now, I'm not saying I don't have my moments, because that's trauma. You're going to have your moments where you get that feeling, but it isn't something that I permanently carry around. It is something that I temporarily pick up and go, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing? And just,
Yep. Yeah. Those things never completely go away. It's like, it's not like you never have that thought. You never have that, should I bring this? Should I put this in the bag? I think it's a lot of it has to do with how much mental space does it take? How long does it take to get to the point where you go, I don't need this. You may look at it and go, no, I'm done, and I'll put it down. Versus like back and forth. You put it in the suitcase, you take it out. You put it in the suitcase, you take it out.
It's
That's
like
the
it's
process.
like the dress outfit. Yeah, everybody has that dress. Like I don't know everybody. I say a lot. I don't know about you, but I always have that dress outfit. I have to have like a dress and a pair of shoes to go with it, like just in case. Just in case I'm gonna go somewhere. Just in case I'm gonna need something to look nice for. You're going to a conference and you're wearing branded clothing logo. Like you're gonna be a corporate drone for 3 days. You don't need a dress. Like you don't need that. But I might. You never know. They might have a.
You never know. And then you start creating situations in your head that will justify bringing it along. Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to gaslighting yourself, folks. Because we do. Yeah. I do that all the time. Jay. I'm gonna start pointing out whenever Jay does shit like that because I'm like, no, we're all gonna go down together.
My overpacking, and I feel like there's someone in the audience that can relate to this. Is when I overpack, it's part of it is the same thing. Is like I might need this, but the might is not necessarily I will need this. It was someone else.
Speaking of Jay.
I start packing for other people.
Speaking of Jay, speaking of people in the audience that I recognize. Oh, both of us are calling you shit out.
I mean, I'm calling myself out. It's not my fault that sometimes the shoe fits other people. But that's
perfectly and tie great, go great with the outfit. Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah. Why do I have an Apple charger in my phone? I don't have an iPhone.
He never had an Apple. He never had an iPhone.
Yeah, well, because like someone might forget theirs, so I'm gonna bring it with me. You never know. Someone might need something. Someone might need this thing. That's what my overpacking often is. Yeah, it's bad. I'm trying to, and I'm working to cut that back. I'm working to reduce that. If they don't have that, if they need it and they didn't bring it, that's not on me. And that's hard. That's hard to come to that because part of my value has been what I can do for other people.
Yeah.
And so I feel good if someone forgets something and I bring it and I've got it. I'm like, oh, look, I have this thing for you.
That's what, look at the chat.
What?
That's what Jay just said.
Yeah. Yeah. That's And what's bad is we begin, people actually, if it happens a lot, people begin adjusting for that. Other people begin accepting that, oh, well, so-and-so will just bring it. And so we begin enabling other people to not handle their own stuff.
Oh, you mean like my family? It's the whole, it's fine. I don't worry about it because Anna will handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I love my dad so much. And luckily we've talked about this and he's actually adjusted and he's actually gotten so much better about it. But yeah, it was very much, that was the phrase often said around my, like any side of my family. Don't worry, Anna will handle it.
Yep. And then, and has part of your journey been, I ain't handling it?
Yes, that's another thing that I dropped at the side of the road, and I think that's when it came to the people pleasing part, the parentified older daughter part of me, like that part, especially at my dad's wedding, when that just kept being the phrase that kept being said, and how frustrating that was for me, and frustrating for you and Bonnie too. Like it was very much like I had that support system, and realizing, and I was just far enough in my journey going, that's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this thing going, why am I fucking carrying this around?
That is a hard part of the journey when other people, when what you're changing has a significant impact on other people. Other people are expecting you to be who you were, and you're like, I've moved past that. So there's that space where they're like, what they kind of feel blindsided, like, oh, when they should have been handling it all along, and they shouldn't have been expecting you to do it.
Right. Well, and to go along
Uh-huh.
with that, that's the thing, is like people will expect you to have that, so they don't pack it. They pack it with something else, their emotional baggage, and then when you go, no, 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 I don't have that. That's not my job. That's for you. Like, no, you can, but I can't. I don't have room for it.
Well,
I
what am
don't.
I supposed
What
to
am I
do? You
supposed
don't
to do?
have this?
Like, yeah. What do
Like, it's
you?
your fault. It's your fault you didn't pack for their mistake.
Right. Or their
Yeah.
trauma, or their, like,
Yeah.
no, that's not my job. Well, what am I
Mhm.
supposed to do? You're supposed to handle it. You're supposed to bring it. You're supposed to take care of it. Well, you've always. Yeah, I've always. And now now
Uh-huh.
I'm decided not. And that's where a lot of, like, either they adjust and go, they can get all bent out of sorts, but then realize, okay, well, maybe I do need to, and maybe they either one of two things. They either come to the realization that they have been relying on you too much, or they have been giving you too much to carry. And now it is time for them to carry their own weight and their own shit. Or they get pissed off and then just never speak to you again, or blame you and make you feel guilty every single time. Well, I used to, or you used to, and you know what? That's, again, that's the whole guilt. I'm not picking that shit up. You can fucking carry that shit. Not my job.
It is not my responsibility to fix everyone else's problems.
I barely
That's
can fix my own. I think coming to that realization, it's not my job,
Yeah.
because I'm doing a really shitty job fixing my own.
But my thought that is, I spent my life spending so much time fixing everyone else's problems, that because why was it easier to fix everyone else's problems? Because it was a lot easier to fix everybody else's problems than it was to fix mine. As long as I had somebody else's problem to fix, I didn't have to worry about my own problem. I could just ignore that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. that was me.
But my favorite way to turn that around on Shawn was always like, so what would you do if you were me, if the situation was reversed?
Oh,
and he
God,
fucking
I hate when
hates
you do
that.
that.
He fucking hates that
when you do
because he
that.
has the right answer. He just doesn't want to apply it to himself. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. What would you tell me if I came to you with that? Shut up.
Not my monkey, not my show, not my monkey, not my show. Not my bull, not my bullshit. That's my favorite one. Not my bull, not my bullshit.
Yep.
Okay, one moment in therapy that made you go, oh, I don't need to carry this.
A moment in, I don't know if I've had a moment in therapy where I've said I don't need to carry this, or I have. I don't know. I mean, I know I've through therapy I've learned I don't need to carry this, but I'm trying to think of like a specific moment where I go, you know, that aha moment. Like not having to win everything. That's something that I feel like I've successfully let go of. But I don't know if there's a specific point where I went, you know, a specific moment in therapy where all of a sudden, bam, I don't have to do that. Actually, well, I shouldn't say that. There's not a moment between me and my therapist that I pay, that, you know, my official therapist. But there is a moment where me and you have had a conversation, and it's been, you don't have to win at everything. You don't.
Really? Okay, I
What?
will do a Calvino, but I don't even know where that hat is, to be real honest.
Oh my God! That wow, this has been a while.
I know. I don't even know. I think I packed it somewhere. I don't know if I have it. We might have to refund that because I have no idea where that hat is.
You could put on anything as a hat. I thought you were reaching for the bear for a second.
Well, I mean, fine. If we're doing that, all right. Shit. I mean, all right.
There we go. Rep the Panthers.
Oh, I love that. Speaking of tragedy and still loving them,
Right? Are loving the Panthers the baggage that we continue to carry that we won't let go of?
Yes. And you know what? I don't abandon them even when they're down. I will love them at their highs and their lows. It's fine.
They just make it really hard to love sometimes.
Well, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I think for me, I mean, there's been several of those for me, that I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
carry this. Um, I think one of the ones that I haven't talked about before. What?
I'm sorry, I just thought of one.
Okay,
Sorry,
go
my bad.
ahead. Because I mean, mine are.
Um, I've told the story, the breaking curfew story.
Yeah.
That was one. That was one where I told my therapist, I was like, I had perceived this story, this moment in time as one thing, and then when I told my therapist that, and he went, "Oh, no, that was like emotional abuse. That was emotional. That was not. That was one of those moments. Like, wait, I felt shame and guilt for disappointing my mom. For I've carried that since I was like 18."
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, "Oh yeah, that's not what you should be taking away from that situation. It's this." I'm like, "Oh, I don't have to wait. I don't have to carry that shame and guilt for disappointing my mom the rest of my life."
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest one. Sorry.
Sorry, I was adjusting my mic. I was like looking
It's
at
okay.
it. It's weird. I think for me, that I mean, other than the one that I talked about like last week, and I talk about often, is being hard to love, and having to earn that love. Was I don't have to carry that, the guilt of my trauma. And what I mean by that is, I spent a lot of time in just being a parent, and in that trying not to be my mother, and that guilt of and that fear that I'm going to pass that on to my kids. And I'm just trying to be a better mom, and I'm trying to so I wasn't being me as a parent. I was just trying to overcompensate and not be my mom. And so it was that fear of, I have this generational trauma, and I have that fear of passing that on to my kids. And one time we just, and over talking about that and expressing, because something had happened with my kids, because as a parent something's always happening, and I just was talking about just how I reacted, and how guilty I felt and how bad I felt. And she's like, "Okay, let's stop." She goes, "What kind of mother are you? And you spend a lot of time carrying around that weight and that burden of the way your mother was towards you, and that heavy weight of trying not to be that person because you carry that weight and that fear from that you are forgetting to be you and be the mother that you want to be. You're just spending a lot of time being afraid of being your mom, and not any time of amount of mental and emotional energy being you as a mom." And I was like, so it's carrying around that guilt and that trauma, of that generational trauma, that fear, and that's the thing that I was carrying around, that fear that I was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And when I let that go, and when I really recognized it and said, okay, I don't need to carry around this fear anymore that I'm going to turn into my mom, because I'm not my mom in the fact that I'm me. And as long as I concentrate on that, there's nothing to be afraid of. And it was so uplifting. And that was a big aha moment of going, shit, you're right. Like, I'm not being me as a mom. I'm just trying not to be her. And it changed how I parent. It changed how I react. It changed my relationship with my kids, and it evolved. I mean, I always had a good relationship with my kids, but it evolved how I dealt with them, how we approach problems together, and it was so different. And that was nice. That was that big aha moment. Yeah. Other than the, I'm not hard to love, but yeah. I mean, that was one that I carried around. Is that fear that I was going to carry on this generational curse. And it was a fear that was, that, is founded in something real, but I didn't have to carry that. And so I'm like,
good. That's a big deal. Yeah. Wow.
Here you go.
When your identity is defined as not being someone else.
Yes.
And I think I did that in some part especially when I was younger, when it comes to my older brother.
Right.
Because my older brother was the rebel, and so my identity was not being him. And I think that shaped a lot of the choices I made when I was younger.
My hat's crooked. I was just noticing that. It's fine.
It's a hat.
Trip. That would be called disassociation and emotional trauma repression.
That right there.
That.
Yeah.
Disassociation and trauma repression. It sucks. It sucks. Because you think that it's gone. You think, okay, you're never going to see it again. You think it's fine. Like, you don't even realize that it's there anymore. Because, you like you said, got lost in transit. You haven't dealt with that in years. You didn't realize that was still even something you owned. And then all of a sudden, you're healing, you're packing, the airline gets their shit together. And all of a sudden it's ding dong, here's more trauma. Here's all the shit you thought wasn't there.
We found your baggage.
We found some more baggage of yours. And you're like, that you want to go, that's not, oh, fuck.
That's not mine. No.
And then then you start unpacking that shit, and you're like, I forgot that. I forgot what the. How many times, Shawn, have you gone? I forgot that.
I did
fucking shit.
Oh Lord, wait. That was that was the thing, wasn't it? Oh God, yeah.
I totally forgot about that. And
that you unpack it, that memory. You unpack that memory and go, oh, wait,
and then
that
you get hit with the flood of the trauma of actually knowing that this is part of it.
Yep.
What a relief. Yeah. That's a load off my mind. Not.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to sugarcoat it. It's fucking hard, Eric. It was like always when I first started the streaming my mental health stuff, it was my favorite phrase. Healing's fucking hard. And there's a clip on my YouTube channel or my Twitch channel that is still there. I'm in the car and I'm going, it was one of my car talks and I was like, I am so tired of unpacking shit. That is literally the clip. I am so tired of unpacking shit. And I'm still unpacking shit. And that was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, wait, the airline lost, you've totally forgotten the airline has lost your luggage. You're like, wait, I don't remember losing this. Oh, this is your name, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
And
Here it is.
You're like, okay. All right. I mean, maybe it's and even when maybe it might be mine, maybe not. And you open it up and realize
kind of looks like mine. Oh God. Yeah.
Used adult diaper.
Oh my God! Wow, that's
yeah.
That's not mine. Yeah, exactly, Jay.
It's
not my bag, babe.
I don't know how many times Shawn and I have I don't know. Well, I can't speak for Shawn. I can speak for me, where I've just gone, I am so tired of unpacking shit. And I'm so tired of thinking, oh, I'm in a good place. Because you are in a good place. Nobody's saying you're not in a good place and you haven't grown. You just realize that you've grown. And now you've got to unpack more shit. Because especially if you have a bunch of trauma, whether it be small or large, big traumatic events or not, my events are more traumatic than others. And so I'm like, I get to that point where I'm like, look at me. I have all these tools and I've unpacked stuff and I've let stuff go. And look at me. I've decluttered my luggage. And again, just like Nev says, ding dong, ding dong. It's like, there it is. And there's like,
it's difficult to not see that as a negative side effect.
Oh yeah,
that's for me, because like I've been doing all this healing and I've been working really hard.
You get excited,
I'm exhausted, but you're excited, but you're exhausted, excited, and you're like, I've done all this work, and like life is gonna be better, life is better, and then they show up with more luggage. You're going, what? There's more. There's like, or you've got luggage nested in luggage, and now you've got to start unpacking that one. You're like, oh, wait, hold on. Let me see what was in this one. It's not a negative side effect. It is the journey. It is part of the process.
And Nev said, sorry, that was past me's baggage and they don't live here anymore. Which, using that analogy, example, which makes it easier to unpack and throw that shit away. and not hold on to it. So yes, if the old luggage comes back and hits you in the face, or you start uncovering and things start like that's where your therapy comes in. That's where the tools, that's where you show your growth, because past used luggage does end up showing up every time, never fails. But your ability to unpack it without repacking it, and unpack it and without holding on to it, becomes easier. And it becomes easy for you to open it up, look at it, pick out the thing, whatever's in there, and go, well, that's a thing. I forgot I had that. And go, well, I guess I don't need it anymore. And let it go and throw it away.
It goes from the luggage to the trash. Instead of it going from the luggage to like your dresser or luggage, or no, it's luggage to dumping that, getting rid of it,
right,
moving on.
Instead of it coming to your door and you going, well, and then just letting it. I guess that's just another thing I got to carry now. It's easier for that, and that's where you show a lot of your growth too. Return to sender. I wish it were that easy, but it's not. There's no exchanges, no returns, unfortunately.
Sometimes it's not the airline showing up going, hey, I found your baggage. Sometimes it's someone you know that shows up and goes, here, hey, I found this baggage you left at my house. You're like, wait, what? Hi.
Nev coming in with Nev coming in with the wiseness. And for those of you who are lurking, Nev says, and whatever you do, don't get nostalgic. Put it on and then think it would make a comeback and hang on to it. Not.
Don't. Yeah, that t-shirt that you thought you had left behind. Don't try that t-shirt on. Don't put on those pants. Don't, just chuck it. Just get rid of it. It's not gonna work.
Now occasionally, I'm not saying now occasionally shit comes back. It's rare. You and I are a prime example of that.
That's yes.
Shit comes back. Your luggage comes back, and you open it up, and you think that there's a lot of shit, but you're like, you know what? I like a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of shit in here that I need to get rid of, but I think so just saying.
Yeah, you're right. There are certain things, but I think, it's not like it's not like you just take it out of the baggage and go, I'm gonna hold on to this and just like stick it on the shelf and like put it there. You spend time and you go, is this something I should hold on to? Is there redeeming value behind it? Is there? And you can also get to the point where you go, it was good at a time, but no, I think after evaluating it, I'm going to get rid of it. Or you go, you know what, there is some redeeming value and we can work with it.
Can you work with it? We can work with it.
Yeah. Cause we'll talk about us and the reboot. We weren't just right out of the box going, cool, this is great. There was a point where we were like,
we did unpack it. We let that overflowing bag. We're like, okay, let's open this shit up and see what's inside.
See what happened? Yeah, but it didn't automatically go. Okay, well, we've unpacked it. We're good. We're moving on. There was a point in time where we unpacked it and went, can I work with this? Is this still feasible? Is this still viable? Is this still something that I want to keep in my life or not?
Should I frame it and put it and hang it up? Yep. Hello, Asta. How are you?
Hey, Asta. Wait, you're cutting. No, you're cut. Yeah, I can't believe you're doing that.
What?
I cannot believe you're cutting that out of the
All right,
episode.
Well, get to the part that you want to do. Get to it so that we can continue on.
Okay. So we're gonna take a moment, and this is a perfect opportunity in this episode to take a pep pun break. TM. So everybody just, sit back, relax. Make sure.
Why is this the one that you're prepared for? Why is this the segment you're prepared for?
Is it your tray is folded and your seats are in an upright position? No, I'm not. I'm sort of prepared for it. Kind of sort of prepared for it. So, what did the daddy luggage say to the kid luggage when they arrived at the airport? Carry On, My Wayward Son. And where do you think they were headed on this trip? You know it. Say
Where?
it. Kansas.
Fucking Christ, I hate you.
Oh, well,
I want to hate that. I want to hate that, but I can't.
Oh my God. So security asked if I had anything to declare. So I loudly proclaimed, I have trust issues.
I'm getting trauma just from this, Shawn. Why Kansas? Because Kansas, the song is by the band Kansas. Carry On, My Wayward Son is by the band Kansas. So that's what that's why Kansas.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot my across the pond folks may not recognize
Carry on my wayward. Okay, anyway. that's as much as I can sing, so that's fine.
They lost my it's looks like the airport lost my luggage, but at least they didn't lose my sense of abandonment. Okay, I'm done.
Are you?
Back to your regularly scheduled program.
You know what? No. Let me see what my Logan cuts up with. You know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna have a pun off right now.
Do you really want to have this? Wait, is it just a pun off between Logan? I think I've got a good name good name for mine. I think I've come up with a good name for mine.
Oh yeah.
Yours is yours you call Logan. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna call mine Paige.
Of course you would have a girl.
Jay saying are you tapping me out? Are you locking me in the brig? Are you putting me in a corner? Nobody puts Pep in a corner.
You like it. You sit in a chair and touch yourself. Shut up.
Hey!
Pepe puts himself in a corner.
That's different.
Oh my God. I tried to check my trauma, but it was overweight and emotionally fragile.
Ask him to even put me in a timeout. You put my nose in a corner. Is that what's happening?
I would put you into a million timeout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine. I earned it.
Why don't emotional wounds ever get lost in baggage claim?
Why?
Because they're the only ones that always find their way back to you.
Oh, that they do. Oh, man.
What's the difference between a suitcase and my abandonment issues?
A suitcase can be closed.
The suitcase actually has wheels to help me move on.
Oh my God. The wheels on the luggage go round and round and.
I brought my emotional baggage to my therapy session, and then I left with a carry-on checked baggage and a surprise emotional support animal.
Oh, those are good.
Oh, okay. All right, we're done. All right. We've had our pun break.
Man. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
Oh, okay. Wow. So, packing with intention. All right. What we carry now.
On purpose.
On purpose. State your purpose.
On purpose. State your purpose.
State your purpose. I'm sorry, Asta. I hope. Like, I know that, like, falling. I hope it didn't hurt anything too badly. Face first. I'm glad you're like. I'm glad you're like still upright and didn't like break your neck. I'm very thankful for that.
Oh my God.
I mean, not saying that your pain isn't. I'm just very grateful that it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. Yeah.
Yes, but I am sorry that you're in pain, and I know that has to be, like, on all the anti-inflammatories.
They X-rate and just go move. They just move on, Jay. No, no.
Actually, that's not true. They don't let him through, and so he just decides to drive so he can get around it.
Oh, so we can pack more stuff.
Yeah. That's why
That's
he
when
has,
you.
that's why he has
That's
a
when the loose
CDL.
articles.
Yeah, that's why he has a CDL and an 18-wheeler.
Woo!
Don't even start with
Yeah.
me that they flag you on through. They don't do that shit. You just find a way around it.
I mean, it's bad because you pack for your flight, but then if you for some reason are suddenly driving, you don't just leave with the same stuff that you were gonna fly with. You realize you can pack more, and it's just a bunch of loose stuff in the back of the car.
Intentional packing. Okay.
Um. Ooh.
The tools
Grace,
that you pack
yeah.
with intention, boundaries, humor, self-expression.
Yeah. The what is it? The tools you pack with intention. I mean, humor is one of that I pack with intention, but I also feel like that's some of the baggage itself. Like, that's not necessarily the best tool.
You are not wrong. You're not wrong.
Exactly. I think it's a situational tool.
It's a thing that you carry around that you like.
Oh, yeah. Humor never leaves the luggage. So it just changes the forms, like sarcasm.
It's how you deal with it. It's how you cope.
Yeah.
It's the toiletry bag. Like, it's not fun, but you put it in there.
But it's yeah, absolutely. You gotta have that because it's there. So I think self compassion is a big one. Knowing that I'm gonna make a mistake, that I'm not gonna be perfect, that things are gonna happen, and I'm gonna have certain days I'm not just not gonna do well. I'm gonna make the wrong choice. But that doesn't mean I have to continue to make the wrong choice. It doesn't mean that I'm failing. That's the one, that the self compassion, the whole failure thing. That's a big deal. Is just because I make a mistake, just because I make the wrong choice, whatever, doesn't make me a failure, and doesn't make my journey a failure. Just a point in time. It's just a point in time, and I'm gonna keep going. So that's a big one. That's a big important tool in my suitcase.
I think for me is my self-worth, and just when the boundaries, and those understanding that that's a necessary thing that I need to carry around. I've been sleeping downstairs. Oh, I'm sorry, Asta. At least you're trying to be safe. I'm glad you're trying to be safe. But for me, the thing that I pack is the boundaries, because I spent most of my life being convinced that that was an unnecessary thing that I didn't need. I didn't need it. I didn't need that. And it's one of those, I spent a lot of time not packing it, not bringing it, not carrying it with me, because I was convinced that it's like, I don't need that. Why do I need that? And then all of a sudden I pack it, and I take that on, the setting boundaries and holding those boundaries. And I'm like, how did I ever live without these? How did I ever live without that? That's the thing that I carry is, and that's what I think, that when I'm packing with intention, and the thing that I have, the tool that I carry on, is setting the boundaries, and the understanding that boundaries are meant for me and to keep me safe. And that doesn't necessarily, it's not to change somebody else's behavior.
Yep. That's a very important aspect of it.
Yes.
I think some people get wrong.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm setting this boundary. Why are they not changing? That's not the purpose of a boundary. The purpose of a boundary is because this is my boundary to keep me safe, emotionally, mentally, whatever, and physically even sometimes, and for me to enforce that boundary. That doesn't necessarily mean that person will ever change, ever.
Yep. Yeah, that boundaries is definitely a newer item for me to put in the suitcase. And it's so very important to have when it's needed, and making sure that I'm using it correctly in that way that you just described, not just whipping it out whenever.
I feel like that's like boundaries is my version of packing cubes.
Yeah. Yes.
I
Exactly.
fucking
There you
love
go.
packing cubes. I do. I do.
Mm-hmm.
And well, first off, because you could put so much more shit in your suitcase, but that's,
Right.
we're not going to. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, I can still pack with them. I can still pack without them. And I have, but
Mm-hmm.
it makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
You can, like, this shit isn't everywhere. Like, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, everything has
You
its
can.
place. Boundaries. Like, everything has their
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Okay, so new truths that replaced your old baggage.
Um.
I gotta go to the bathroom again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't have to be everything to everyone. There's a new truth, and that my value is not based upon what I can do for people. That's something that's part of my whole overpacking is being prepared for everyone and being prepared to fix everyone else's issue. And like, if I can fix their issue, then that makes me a better person. And so the truth is I pack with what I need, what I need, and not necessarily for every possible scenario, but just bringing along what I need in order to be myself, and move forward instead of packing
Hey Jay,
everything.
how's that work out for you? How's that? How's that? How's that, Jay? Hey Jay. Hey Jay. I'm just saying that. Yeah. Did you hear what Sean just said? I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah.
Can you say
Yeah,
that again
yeah.
for the people in the back that your worth doesn't rely on
Fixing everyone else's problems.
Jay? Hey Jay.
but
Hey.
but it feels so good. That's the problem. Fixing everyone else's problems has can yield such a strong external reinforcement that one is hard to break.
It's not an external reinforcement because first off, hi, it's me. I'm a recovering white knight people pleaser. Is it hit Jay today? I didn't get the memo. It's just that Jay and Shawn are so much more alike than you think that they are. They just have handled.
But I'm good at fixing things, right? I know.
I think that like they both have very very similar things. That as somebody who is probably both of their best friends, like yeah,
You've seen it, yeah. Yeah.
they are the same person with just different coping mechanisms. That's all. But it isn't. Here's the reality of fixing somebody else's problem. Yes, it's an external validation, but what it is doing, it is putting a Band-Aid over.
Motion detected at the front door.
Whoa.
What?
Tell him to go away.
What?
Somebody drive by? You get a drive by?
I don't know. I'm checking it out now.
All right. But yeah, it's a bandage. It's allowing the other person it's taking ownership of what they need to do, taking ownership of their situation. And it's saying it, but it's not just fixing it to fix it. It's fixing it because I'm going to get something back out of that. I'm going to feel better about myself. I'm going to feel like I'm worthy. I'm going to feel like I'm good enough. Because if I don't fix it, if I don't take that extra step, if I don't bring that thing, and then there's a problem, what's going to happen? I'm going to feel bad because I didn't fix the thing, but I could have fixed the thing if I had just done this. And as long as I'm fixing everyone else's problems, they're not fixing their own problems. I learned that was a big situation with my marriage. That was a big part of enabling behaviors in my marriage.
Sorry about that, Eric. I'll turn this down. It's up there.
That was a big part of my marriage, is the enabling. Well, if I don't do this for her, then this bad thing's going to happen, or it's not going to happen, or if I don't ever let her do things for herself, she's never going to do anything for herself. and it's taking all of that responsibility on when it wasn't mine to take on.
I try
It
not
is
to.
extremely hard. I get that. It is extremely hard. Um, I think part of where when I came to the realization of why I did it.
It's the branches in front of my door because it's the wind, so
Oh,
it's waving, and so
the
that's
wind
what.
did it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
like because I'm looking at
Okay.
it. Yeah, that's what I do. Okay, I was like,
Where I realized it wasn't just about fixing. It wasn't just about making sure that a problem was fixed. I knew it was more about me when if the problem got fixed, but I wasn't the one to fix the problem, if I wasn't the one to have the solution, I felt worse. It wasn't enough that the problem was fixed. I wanted to be the one to fix the problem. And that's when I went, ooh, okay, that's me trying to have a need met by fixing someone else's thing. That's me
mhm,
trying to prove that I have worth. Because if I can't fix it, I don't have worth. I have to fix it.
mhm.
Not it got fixed. I have to be the one to fix it. And that extends to both like technical stuff, but also people. If I can't fix their problem, then what good am I if I can't fix their problem?
And
Which
Asta, it's really hard. It is really hard, especially
mhm,
when it's like the thing that, especially when it's a fundamental belief. Which is brought together. I know for me, from my caretakers, from my primary, like, you know, therapy talk, but by my primary caregivers growing up, because I was responsible for my mother's emotional regulation, for my family's emotional regulation, because again, I'm the black sheep. So if I was doing well, if I could fix the problem, if I could find the solution, then I found the worth. And if that, like, that was where my worth came in, is just like Shawn said, like, if I can fix it, or if I had the solution, then I was still good enough to keep around, and I was worthy of love, and I was that
mhm.
and people do take advantage of that.
They
I
absolutely will.
used to be, and I knew it was not right, but I couldn't stop. In my head, I couldn't stop it. Because I thought it was
Hmm.
my personality. I would often compare myself to an old coat. It's like I would always feel really bad because nobody wanted to be around me until either something bad happened or there was a
Hmm.
problem. And then all of a sudden they pop back into my life. But when I needed something and they didn't need it, they would just hang me up. And it was one of those like, well, okay. Like,
Yeah.
but I felt used. I often felt, which leaves you not feeling good. It leaves you feeling worse. It leaves you feeling worse, like used and unloved and uncared for, which perpetuates that cycle because they only positively reinforce that abandonment, validation wound when you are solving their problems and you are fixing their shit and you are being the supportive friend and the loving friend. And maybe if this is the time, it's going to be different. And then you start thinking to yourself, oh, this is why we're friends, this is all the thing, this is, and then they just ghost you or disappear on you or whatever, they hang you up until the next time they need you.
Hmm. It ties into what are our self worth, how we see how we view ourselves, our core belief, and it ties back to our attachment, our abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not good enough, that's how I feel. If I'm not good enough, if I didn't fix this problem, if I didn't do the thing that needed to be done, um, then I wasn't. What point did I have in this friendship or relationship or whatever? And so if I can't prove that I'm needed, that I had to be around, then they're going to abandon me. And so all of this was done to try to keep people from leaving me because I didn't have enough self-worth that I was good enough to be friends with or to keep around just because I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a constant cycle of trying to fix and be everything to everyone
Yeah.
to because I didn't feel worthy of being accepted or worthy of just who I am,
Yes.
being me.
So what's in your emotional travel kit that now supports healing? What's in your little thing that always goes with you?
Um, Now there's a positive self-talk. Talking myself up. That's become a more constant thing, is just going reminding myself of all the good stuff
Hmm.
that I am, not that I can do for other people, but just who I am.
Hmm.
Um, so that's definitely it's in my travel kit. That's always I'm bringing with me everywhere now.
Um, I think for me, my essential, like in my essential travel kit, is my
Mm-hmm.
DBT skills. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those skills, just that's like essential. That is like an
Yeah.
essential thing for me, and and when I first started doing the DBT three years ago. God, this seems like forever
Mm-hmm.
ago. Like it doesn't
Right.
seem like it's been 3 years ago, but then it seems like so long ago. When I started the DBT skills, it was always like, oh, this is so hard. It's so, and it becomes second nature to me now, and it's just become one of those things of like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how I lived without this. Like I didn't know, like using my skills and all of that to so that is my essential, like that is the essentials, that is the
Mm-hmm.
I never go anywhere without it. Do I always use them?
Yeah, yeah, I'm the same way. Like I've got this tool. Sometimes I forget the tool. Sometimes I just flat out forget the tool.
Yeah.
Here's one thing that I struggle with. Sometimes I have the tool and I know where the tool's at, but I'm in such a dysregulated state that I refuse to even get the tool out and use it.
Yes, and DBT is popular with BPD treatment. And Linehan, yes, that is Dr. Linehan. But DBT is not just for BPD people. I just want to make that clear. It was developed because what was working for BPD patients is like this cognitive behavior theory was
Mm-hmm.
not working. But it's not the end all be all. But it definitely was the thing that saved my life, or really was the turning point for my emotional healing. It doesn't work for everyone, just like anything else. It is all in what your healthcare provider, your mental health care provider, what works for you and your traumas in it. But for me, that is my essential. That is my go-to. And now I
Mm-hmm.
am adding on to that with CBT and the recognizing, okay, I have this. This is my essentials. But I'm able to do all that, and DBT was the thing, and it's hard. It's hard, and
Mm-hmm.
some of it I looked at for a long time, going, "This is stupid." Like this is stupid. Like there's a lot of that where you look at it when you first get, and you're like, "This is stupid." Like who? Like this isn't gonna work. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how many times I said that in during my, like, as I was in group therapy and I was in individual therapy, and like it was very much I spent a lot of time. Okay, we're gonna work on this skill today, and I would be like, "Oh, gee,
I got
beers, yay!"
I got it.
But it was I would often think to myself, "This is stupid."
Mm-hmm.
So don't ever think that, like, when somebody, like, I always say, "Oh yes, give me all these tools. It's so wonderful." No, 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 no. I often would think this is stupid. Um,
Yeah. No,
until
I'm
it
right there
wasn't
with you.
until it wasn't stupid. Um, and yeah, until it wasn't. Till it was just like,
Yeah.
you, it's not stupid. It just isn't. Maybe the situation wasn't the situation that you needed it for. Until, oh, it's not stupid. Oh,
I for me, I think it doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel comfortable for me to start off when I started off doing it, because it didn't feel comfortable. I wanted to say it was stupid. It doesn't work because I didn't want to deal with it. Just doesn't feel comfortable for me. So that was kind of my way of just brushing it off.
mm-hmm.
But it doesn't feel comfortable because I don't do it. I mean, it's that's why I'm in therapy, because I wasn't doing that thing, because for me the normal stuff is the unhealthy stuff. So to take a healthy approach, like, what this is weird. This doesn't feel right. Um, the CBT stuff is some of what I've learned with CBT and IFS, internal family systems. That's stuff that I still carry with me. Like for the just the facts. That's one that I've had to use a lot. It's just the facts and what is the story. Those two kind of go hand in hand for me. So, what is this for anyone who doesn't know? So when I would say, what is the story? What are the things that I'm telling myself about either myself or about the other person? I'm telling myself a story because story is the things that what's going on in my head. This person doesn't love me. This person doesn't care. This person thinks I'm stupid. This person, like, this is a story that someone else thinks about me. Or this is a story that I am not lovable. I am not this. I am not that. And I'm telling myself this story, and I'm creating this world around this idea, because that's kind of where my brain's at.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to like, especially, then I start looking at, I take that and go, okay, so that's the story, recognizing that that's the story that I'm telling myself, and then it's going to what are the facts, especially like when it comes to when it comes to other people or myself. What is really that? What is really happening? What was really said? What was really done? What are the facts outside of that story?
Right.
And I feel this especially when I think that other people are seeing me a certain way, or other people are like, no one wants to be around me. No one wants to, like, okay, so what's really happening? What are the facts? So I tend to use that a lot, and that helps. That kind of pulls me out of, okay, so I'm believing this about myself, but what's really going on?
Yep. And that's a form of mindfulness, being mindful. Mm-hmm. Mindful of your body, mindful of your thoughts, and that's mm-hmm. what for me. I thought mindfulness was dumb. That was one of the ones mm-hmm. I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meditating, being a body scanning meditation. I'm like, this is dumb. This doesn't work.
Where do you feel it in your body? I don't know. Like the first couple of times when my therapist was like, well, where do you feel it in your body? Yeah. What kind of question is that?
It's like the body scan where you relax your whole body doing the body scan, like that one. I was like, this isn't working. This is dumb.
Yeah.
Till it works. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But okay. So with that, I think meditation doesn't work for me personally. I feel it in my sarcasm box. Oh yeah. Asta, it doesn't necessarily work all the time. And mm-hmm. definitely meditation, like especially body scan meditation doesn't work all the time. But it does for me in certain instances. And it's all in, just like any other tool in your toolkit, there is a proper time and place for it. And that's what they teach you also in DPT for me, is that try something. If that doesn't work, try something else. Don't continue to keep trying the same thing. If something is not working, try another skill. Just keep trying mm-hmm. until something does work. And that was the permission to keep trying until something works, instead of just keep trying the same thing over and over again until it works. Yes.
Why doesn't this work for me? That's one thing I had to learn at the beginning, is why doesn't this work for me? This works for you. Why doesn't it work for me?
Yeah. I can't do meditation. I can't do meditation all the time. I'm too ADD.
That's exactly what I was going to say. For people that have ADD, meditation is extremely difficult, because the moment I go still, my brain ramps up and goes a million miles. No, I begin song lyrics popping in my head. I begin like, forget it. Meditation does not work.
It is. It's not just song lyrics. It's just like all of a sudden you try to go still. So you're trying to like clear your mind. And if you have that's the other one. If you have a thought, let it go. Acknowledge it and let it go. I'm like, what if it's coming at you like a highway on rush hour? I'm like, there's no letting that shit go.
No, that's I have AD. Exactly.
Yeah.
So meditation doesn't work for me. So if meditation will work for you, that's fine. And a lot of times, if you have ADD, it's probably not going to work.
That's why I've been emphasizing body scan meditation, because body scan meditation is, I often use YouTube, and it's vocal guided meditation. So instead of clear your mind. It's giving me it's something to concentrate on. So
Mm-hmm.
the one that I use the most, especially in mindfulness meditation, is the body scan, because usually I've been triggered. So my nervous system, my vagal nerve is just so fried that I
Mm-hmm.
have to, the only way to get myself to a regulated state that I can, start using my skills is to let's do the guided meditation where I am relaxing and feeling my entire body, and I am purposeful and intentionally relaxing my body. And that's pretty much the only meditation that has actually really worked for me, because I am concentrating on doing something.
Yes, there you go.
If I am sitting
Yep.
there, just relax your mind and let the thought, like that one, the thought. If you think a thought, just let it go. That one, every single time I've done a meditation and they've said that, I'm like, I literally go, this is dumb. Oh, I need to let that go. Wait, I'm still
Mm-hmm.
thinking something. What the fuck is that? Like, and then it's just like zoom, 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 zoom. And I'm like,
Mm-mm. Nope.
then it
Nope.
becomes a crowded subway in there. And I'm just like, fuck it.
And then you become focused on the fact that you can't become or like you. I start thinking about that I can't do this thing, and then that's where my focus becomes. And I'm like, there's never nothing there.
Yep.
It's never, there's no clearing the mind.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, good times.
Yay.
You find what works. You find what works for you.
Okay. I really like this takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
Today reminded me I am not the person who packed the bag. I am the one who chose to unpack it.
Ooh, TSA would not approve, but it's a very good statement.
I feel like TSA would approve. The less shit you carry around, the more that the less they have to do their job.
Yeah, but someone else packed your bag.
No.
Sorry, I derailed that. But yeah, that is a profound statement.
Well, today reminded me I'm not the person who packed that bag. It's your past self. Your past self.
Yes.
Shawn. Okay, for those of you in Chat GPT. All right, here is something that will fuck you up and had me crying. Like, not crying as in laughing, like crying. TSA would not approve. Apparently there's shit in my carry-on that I had no idea I was carrying on, and so that's why I got, pat down and searched. That's fine. Ask Chat GPT to have a conversation with you and your past self. And then you want more fucked up shit? Have it have a conversation between you and your future self.
I'm sorry, what?
And then, if you really want to just start unpacking some shit, have all three of you sit down and have a conversation.
I don't think Paige knows me that well yet. that sounds painful. All right.
Oh, Eric, I am warning you, for those of you who decide to do it, it could trigger you. Trigger warning. So only do it if it's not going to put you in a bad mental place or emotional place, or that you are prepared to be in that place. Just warning you. You want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
I am just saying that is something that I did. I was like, I'm going to see what happens. It certainly, it was a gut punch. It very much was felt very raw for me. And that's why I was weeping, but I was also weeping in that weird place, from a place of healing. Especially when you're talking to your past self, and then, talking to your future self, and that aspect of coming from the two different angles. It's giving you, it's really basically, it's helping you be, self-inflection, like itself, like you're introspective, and you are seeing yourself and seeing your healing journey, and being appreciative of that, and just embracing different parts of yourself. So just fair warning, just FYI.
All right. Let us know how that goes.
No, I mean, if you need emotional support, yes, but that's your own personal thing.
if
Like,
you need to.
I don't like need to be on somebody's personal journey unless they need help. Why?
Brain Cooper.
Spell today, Brain Cooper. Oh yeah. You're not wrong.
Excuse me.
You're not wrong. It would break the time continuum.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's been 2 hours.
It has been 2 hours.
It never seems like, I don't know about our community watching us, but for me, it never seems like it.
We have a lot to talk about. Do you know, we used to struggle to fill an hour. Do you remember that?
We did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I remember because I had an outline.
Time flies because it travels light. You right? Okay,
Wow.
so Shawn, how about, since you're really good about it, how about you outro us and tease the rest of the week and the day and all of that jazz?
Must say okay. I like I like Nev's thing. The time flies because it travels light. I'd say be purposeful in your packing. As far as that goes, and I think your quote today reminds me, I'm not the person who packed the bag, I'm the one who chose to bag it. So I can't do any better than that. So I'm just going to talk about the week. So this week, today is Sunday. So tonight we have Let's Build with Pep. So I'm going to be building some Legos. I'm going to pick up on the Viking Village set that I've done. I'm several bags into it, so we're going to do that at 6:30 Eastern. On my channel, that is the Dorian Sombra channel, which I'm gonna have to throw the stuff in the place and the things. So it's always gonna take me a second to hit the right buttons to do that. So I'll get that in there in a second. So that is tonight at 6:30 Eastern, working on the Viking Village. Then Tuesday is Three Bards and a Dragon. So that is our RPG podcast where we roll a d20 and let it ruin our lives. That is always a fun. Oh, thank you, Nev. I appreciate that. I don't think I laugh as hard as I do with Three Bards and a Dragon. It is so incredibly funny. Laugh, groan. I think the last one was a little. We had some hard hitting ones last time at the very end. But it's a fantastic. I love our RPG podcast. So if you want to check that out, it is at 7:30 Eastern on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday we have Jay flipping houses, and that is on his channel, Tainted Jay. So that's at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. He's going to be doing some house flipping. I think you're still doing that. So Jay is fantastic to watch. If you've never checked him out, I definitely recommend it. Funny to watch, insightful, sarcastic, so funny. I love Jay. So that's at 8:30 Eastern on Wednesday. Then on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, because I keep forgetting this, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday is Nev or Zarknor in the chat. So he does his gaming on those days. So we always like to shout him out. So check out Nev at 8:30 Eastern on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And that brings us back to Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it brings us back to Sunday at waking up. And you might see us go live at any point. You never know when we might we'll get together in game or whatever. So just follow us on all of our channels and you get notifications. Okay. There we go. Let me throw.
You know what's crazy? I went from streaming 5 days a week to just 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
5 days. Oh, that was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Oh, we streamed a ton.
We did
back in the day. Before I forget, Discord. If you want to join the chat in Discord, there's our Discord link. We'll post clips of our streams. We'll post different messages, whatever comes to mind in between our shows. We'll post there. We'll also our notifications. I know I do it whenever I go live. I post it into Discord. So if you're part of Discord, you'll get the notification there as well. Don't cross the streams. No, absolutely not. And then the very last thing I'm going to put in here is if you are in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, at the end of May, or you want to be, you want to come hang out with us at Con Carolinas, we're going to be there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're going to be there, 25% off. Use TMAOA promotional code, and you will get 25% off the ticket, which is a fantastic deal. And you're going to hang out with us. We have a lot of panels planned. I am so looking forward to it. It's very exciting. So it's going to be great. There you go.
All right. And with that, you guys enjoy your Sunday. And how's that for baggage? Oh, you know what's crazy? Oh.
Wow. Yeah, that's the thing. So, all right. It has been 2 hours, so I think we're gonna leave it. You've got all the stuff, all the links in the chat. We're gonna peace out.
I have lots of laundry to do. Sorry, I gotta go adult today.
We gotta go adulting. So thanks everybody. We'll talk to you later.
We'll
see you tonight.
Yeah, show up for Pep stream. Lots of building. All right.
Yeah,
all right. Bye. Did you really just high five over me?
No, we didn't.
Okay, we're live.
Hey.
Hello.
Last week,
You don't even do that well from the front seat.
Okay.
And the bear is coming with the carpet spoon.
That's a straight up PBR for the table.
Yeah.
I think it called.
She ain't judging us at all.
Did you really just high five over